WESH 2 News starts now with breaking news.
Starting tomorrow and continuing in the days ahead, we'll also impose sanctions on Russia's elites and their family members.
Breaking news from President Biden. The U.S. is taking it a step further and imposing sanctions on Russia. This comes after Russia announced it would send troops to 2 regions in eastern Ukraine, which have declared independence.
President Biden warns Russia is planning to go further and launch a massive military attack on Ukraine. WESH 2's Jim Payne is joining us live in studio now with more on that breaking news. Jim.
Right now, more than 150,000 Russian troops continue to surround the border with Ukraine. President Biden says they're ready for combat with military equipment, medical and blood supplies. That's why he and other world leaders are so concerned that a Russian invasion of Ukraine is imminent. In the sanctions announced from the White House this afternoon, Russian banks will be cut off from Western financing. The sanctions also target Russian elites and their family members. President Biden says he's prepared to step it up if Russia does not back down.
These have been closely coordinated with our allies and partners and will continue to escalate sanctions if Russia escalates. We still believe that Russia is poised to go much further in launching a massive military attack against Ukraine.
President Biden says he's moving some U.S. troops and equipment that are already in Europe to strengthen NATO allies. And breaking right now, a meeting planned for later this week between Secretary of State Antony Blinken and the Russian foreign minister has been canceled. Blinken now saying it doesn't make sense after what's happened in Ukraine. Back to you, Stuart.
Jim, thank you. We are keeping a close eye on local gas prices, which are expected to rise because of what's happening in Eastern Europe. Here are the numbers from AAA. The average price of regular gas right now in Orlando is around $3.48 per gallon. Just 1 month ago, it was just $3.20. It's a similar story over in Daytona Beach. Gas right now is about $3.47. Last month, it was just $3.22. The situation is constantly changing, and you can still keep up to date when we are off the air by going to WESH.com. There you can find more articles about the crisis in Ukraine, like this one about the reaction from other world leaders.
We have more breaking news tonight, this time here in Winter Park. A deadly motorcycle crash on Lee Road right near Wymore has forced police to shut down the I-4 exit ramp at Lee Road. A motorcyclist crashed at the Denny's restaurant there on the corner. Fire officials say that it appears the impact threw the driver into the restaurant window. That driver was pronounced dead at the hospital. Happening now, Florida lawmakers are discussing the controversial Don't Say Gay bill.
It's a proposal that is drawing attention not just statewide, but nationwide. And WESH 2's Marlene Martinez joins us in studio with what's happening right now. Marlene.
Right now, critics of the bill are asking the sponsor their hard-hitting questions. They say the Don't Say Gay bill harms LGBTQ youth and their mental health. This, as the bill sponsor says, his focus is protecting parents' rights. I asked Representative Harding today why he withdrew his amendment. He sent us this statement that reads in part, all the amendment did was create procedures around how, when, and how long information was withheld from parents so that there was a clear process and kids knew what to expect. Nothing in the amendment was about outing a student. He says rather than battle over the amendment, he's deciding to focus on the primary bill itself. The House is expected to vote on Thursday. Michelle?
All right, thank you so much, Marlene. A case involving LGBTQ rights is headed for the Supreme Court this fall. The court will decide whether businesses have the right to refuse to serve same-sex out of Colorado, where refused to design wedding websites for same-sex couples because of religious objections. The state says she violated an anti-discrimination law, but she argues that the law violates her free speech and religious rights.
It's a story no parent wants to hear. This man is accused of coercing a preteen to send him nude photos. Thomas Zayas worked at the Veterans Administration Medical Center in Lake Nona. He could spend the next 30 years in prison if convicted. WESH News investigative reporter Greg Fox is live at the courthouse in downtown Orlando. And Greg, he had his first court appearance this afternoon.
He did, and in fact, he was crying during some of that hearing as the attorneys and the judge were discussing the possible punishment if he is convicted. 15 to 30 years behind bars and probation that could last the rest of his life.
Now to the verdict handed down in Georgia.
3 men who were convicted of have been found guilty of hate crime and other charges. The jury declared Gregory McMichael, Travis McMichael, and William Bryan guilty of all counts. The counts include hate crimes, attempted kidnapping, and the use of a firearm to commit a crime. The U.S. Attorney General spoke following the verdict.
They were children with big dreams that will never come to be.
This was a preventable death.
Tonight on WESH 2 News at 6, part one of a two-part WESH 2 investigation into the state's child welfare system. The failures one local police chief exposes amid the deaths of several children at the hands of their parents and how it is spurring statewide change.
It's a lose-lose situation when it comes to the housing crisis.
On one hand, home prices are on the rise, but renting isn't cheap either. And a new study finds where it may actually be more cost-effective to bite the bullet and buy.
Plus, a call for donations, how you can give to Central Florida families who are struggling financially during the pandemic.
And check out today's date. It's 2/22/2022. How some couples are taking it as a sign to tie the knot. Tony.
And Michelle, another day and another few degrees warmer, up to 86 now in Orlando today. Comfortably pleasant along the coast. We'll talk about these near record temperatures on the way, all straight ahead.
Closed captioning is sponsored by the law offices of Attorney Dan Newland.
These children once had dreams from going to Yale and becoming a police officer. Dreams that now will never be realized.
This was a preventable death.
In a two-part WESH 2 investigation, we explore the failures within Florida's child welfare system.
When you're not doing a thorough investigation, you're putting children's lives at risk.
Plus, see how new changes are aimed at protecting kids from tragedy.
Gives me hope for the future that we'll never see this happen again.
Tonight at 6, only on WESH 2 News.
It is rough out there for anyone trying to buy a home right now. New numbers show home prices hit a high not seen since the end of the Reagan administration. Home prices shot up nearly 19% in the last year. That's according to the S&P Core Logic Case Shiller U.S. National Home Price Index. Now, the South and the Southeast saw the biggest spike, above 25%. And despite the rising home prices, buying may be a more affordable option than renting in many cities across the United States, including Orlando.
Realtor.com crunched those numbers, and the average price of rent in the U.S. jumped 19.8% in January compared to just a year ago. It is worse in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Beach, where rent is up 52%. In Orlando, it may be more worthwhile to actually buy a home. The monthly cost of buying a home is about 27% less than the average price of rent. Today is Tuesday, meaning it's a Tuesday, and the date is 2/22/22, all twos. And as WESH 2's Amanda Dukes reports, this day will always have a very special meaning for dozens of couples in DeLand who hope 2 is their ticket to a lifetime of love.
They, along with all the other couples, hope becoming 2 on a day of 2s is a great start to a lifetime of love. Amanda Dukes reporting, WESH 2 News.
Volusia County Clerk of Court says her office also holds a large wedding ceremony during Bike Week for any biker couples who want to tie the knot.
Stu, I'd like to tell you that that's the last time you're going to hear about the 2/22/22 thing, but it's not.
Have you posted it on Facebook or social media today?
I posted it this morning.
I've not, because I know everyone has, but I feel like at this point I have to.
Well, I found a really cute meme or graphic, so I felt like I wanted to post that.
Well, at least it wasn't 22 degrees today, Tony. At least not across Central Florida.
Yeah.
Yep, you're welcome.
He went there. Tower Cam Network, Orlando right now, looking pretty good. 80 degrees, no 2s there for you, Stewie. Winds around to the east at 15 miles an hour. Here's what's going on as we get you through Thursday and Friday. There are changes coming, though, as you notice here, heading into the weekend, not bad. Cold front will arrive there Sunday night. Monday will turn a little bit cooler there, not cold, but cooler for Monday and Tuesday. We'll take a closer look at that coming up in the next half hour.
All right, Tony, thank you. It's after work hours, so time to party it up on a Thursday, Tuesday. The special deals going around at local restaurants on National Margarita Day. And all throughout Black History Month, we've been recognizing Black Americans, past and present, who are making a difference in their community. Tonight, we're going to introduce you to a Florida doctor who's bringing back an old tradition.
First Warning Weather on WESH 2 is sponsored by Cool Today. First Warning Weather on WESH 2 is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. Dial pound law on your cell phone.
Doctors making house calls were commonplace 100 years ago, but not something you see much these days. As part of Project Community, today we're highlighting a Black doctor down in West Palm Beach who's brought back the tradition. Dr. Richard Johnson may be 77 years old, but he's quick on his feet and always on the go. He says house calls help patients who have trouble going to the doctor's office.
I get a kick out of seeing the patients and I'm not rushed, I'm not pushed. You know, we're in conversation. Patient population that I take care of also needed this.
Dr. Johnson grew up in Palm Beach County. He went to medical school in Missouri before returning to South Florida to open his private practice. Years later, he closed his office and worked in the prison system. Now he's semi-retired and just makes the house calls.
It is past 5 p.m. and that means it's time to wind down after work, perhaps with a margarita. Restaurants are offering deals today because it's National Margarita Day. Chuy's is offering a deal of $2 to make any regular House Rocks or frozen Rita a Grande size drink. You can also get an extra shot of tequila for just $1. Margaritaville Orlando is also giving away free margaritas, and Miller's Ale House is offering 50% off margaritas. So it's Taco Tuesday, National Margarita Day, and 22.
You guys need to go get some aspirin today, too.
More news is coming up at 5:30.
QR codes can make it convenient to look up restaurant menus and website links and more, but scammers are also taking advantage. They're warning tonight in a new Rossen reports.
And we are keeping tabs on that breaking news in Eastern Europe. The reaction to President Biden's newly announced sanctions on Russia. Next at 5:30.
WESH 2 traffic is driven by Toyota Orlando and Toyota Claremont.
WESH 2 News starts now with breaking news.
Breaking news is on the crisis in Ukraine. It's not just the United States, but also Germany and the European Union announcing sanctions against Russia.
This is all in retaliation to Russia formally recognizing the independence of two regions in Ukraine. Western allies are growing more concerned that this sets Russia up to invade Ukraine. Today, Germany took steps to stop the certification of a gas pipeline from Russia. The EU and the UK have announced sanctions impacting Russian finances. And just a few hours ago, President Biden also made this announcement. United Launch Alliance is planning its next Atlas V launch 1 week from today. The rocket will launch weather satellites for NASA and NOAA. A 2-hour launch window opens at 4:38 p.m. next Tuesday, March 1st. We will bring you that launch when it happens right here on WESH 2. Nothing tugs at the heartstrings of people on social media quite like posts about pets.
And the workers at Orange County Animal Services know this, so they're putting their platforms to good use. They put out posts like this one of 4-year-old Macy with her backstory, hoping that their next owner is just a scroll away. As WESH 2's Michelle Meredith reports, it's giving forgotten pets a chance to be seen again.
Our story starts with Orange County Animal Services and Eli. Eli had been in the shelter longer than any dog, 132 days. Has a great personality, but apparently didn't look like anything special. So, Animal Services posted Eli's story on Instagram. Then, boom, the spark hit social media like a powder keg.
The reach was incredible. The story went viral faster than we actually expected it to. We received hundreds and hundreds of emails, phone calls, comments on Facebook and Instagram, just asking about Eli, just wanting to adopt Eli. We even got people from out of state, out of the country.
Eli found his forever home the next day. His new mom drove in from Tampa to get him.
They immediately feel for them, and that's what we want. We want these people to understand that these animals they're living beings. And they're here sad, they're here heartbroken, and we want to try to capture that.
Take the story of Thelma and Louise. The dynamic duo went unadopted for over a half year. Then you guessed it, the social media wizards at Animal Services posted a video that would have made Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis jealous. So what is it about social media? Hello, darling. Oop, aw. That just gets humans. We just take that bait, hook, line, boop, and sinker. Oh, there you go, by the way. This is Harley. She's available. Aren't you? Who's next up on the social media hit list? Scratchy and Barbie. Both have been in the shelter for 100 days, and Animal Services has no doubt they'll get snatched up. You said it works every time?
It has worked every time. We're very positive, and the thing of it is we're not going to stop trying.
So, I kid you not, coming to a Lynx bus near you will be the cute little faces of dogs and cats that need a forever home, because they figure if it works for attorneys, it'll work for them too. In Orange County, Michelle Meredith, WESH 2 News.
You spent that whole story going, oh, look at the puppy, all the reactions.
I love this. This is so great. And also, Marion County Animal Services is really good at this, too. They actually have a grumpy old dog that's on their website right now who's available in case you're looking for an older dog.
All right, still ahead. The new exhibit, which just opened a few moments ago.
That's right. It's celebrating Black History Month. Plus.
Hi, I'm Jeff Rawson. Up next on Rawson Reports, the new FBI warning you need to hear about: hackers targeting you when you're out to eat. How simply calling up the restaurant menu could send you into financial ruin. These details you need next.
And we need some rain, and unfortunately this work week looks dry. However, in the long-range forecast, there are a few showers in that 7-day forecast. I'll show you exactly when, straight ahead.
The closing bell on WESH 2 is sponsored by Todd Minor Law.
There's a lot that goes into forecasting Central Florida weather. Experience, technology, accuracy. It's the foundation for what we do, always being your first word of warning when it matters most. WESH 2 First Warning Weather.
A new art exhibit is now open in Orlando for Black History Month. It's called Quilts, Photography, and Folk Art: Intergenerational Stories. It features a number of local folk artists and photos from Paramore storytellers. The exhibit officially opened 15 minutes ago at 5:30. You can stop by City Arts to see it.
QR codes have been around for quite some time, but they exploded everywhere during the pandemic to help places do contactless payments. Well, now, a warning for people who use them. Our chief national consumer correspondent, Jeff Rawson, shows us how cyber criminals can steal your information. Okay, Jeff, some good tips there. Let's talk about the forecast. It was beautiful out there today. I'm sure it was too hot for some people.
But this is Central Florida, so this is just a warm-up, Tony.
You know, you're right. Next couple of days, we're going up from where we were today. Let me take you outside. A lot of folks are going to be headed towards the coast as we head towards Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with temperatures again in the 80s. Currently now 76. Now, remember, the last 90-degree day we had was 123 days ago. I had to update that for today, October the 23rd. We may get near that number as we get you on into Friday. Then from Friday to Monday afternoon, in between there, we'll get that cold front. Temperatures will get back to normal. Let me show you a 7-day forecast right through the weekend. Highs will stay in the 80s. Here comes that front very early Monday morning, and the temperatures do respond nicely into the low in the mid-70s by early next week. In fact, area-wide, the trend is the same. You can see near 90 by Friday. Then as we head into the weekend, we'll see some moisture try to return by Sunday night. Most of the day looks pretty good for any outdoor activity you may have planned. Best rain chances to me look to be Monday morning, and then along the coast come Tuesday. Temperatures by then getting back to normal in the mid-70s. WESH 2 News at 5 returns here in just a moment.
First Warning Weather Update is sponsored by the law offices of Dan Newlin Injury Attorneys.
What a thing being a parent.
What a thing being a kid.
We have found the light before. We'll find it again.
I want to give you a choice. Resign, or I rip you from this hospital. Whatever it takes, you are going down.
It's a win for women in the pursuit of equal pay.
U.S. Soccer and the U.S. Women's National Team reached a new agreement. Going forward, the men's and women's national teams will receive an equal rate of pay for matches and tournaments. The U.S. Soccer Federation also agreed to a $24 million settlement. $2 million will be set aside for players' post-career aspirations and charitable efforts for girls and women's soccer. The women's soccer team sued back in 2019 for gender discrimination. And a sweet treat honoring women and girls. Hershey's has released its Celebrate She chocolate bar, and the chocolate company is among only a handful of Fortune 500 companies led by women. It was named #1 on the world's top female-friendly companies list. She says it's committed to equal pay, career development, and other initiatives to support women. All right, starting today, Mountain Dew is selling a spiked version of the soda here in Florida. There are 4 flavors: Baja Blast, Watermelon, Black Cherry, and the original. The spiked seltzer is 5% alcohol by volume. It's sold in 24-ounce single-serve cans and a variety pack of a dozen 12-ounce cans. All right, Spotify's Car Thing is now available in the U.S.
We're not making the name up. That's what it's actually called.
Hey, Spotify. Shuffle my like songs.
The Car Thing is a smart player designed for people streaming Spotify music and podcasts in their cars. Voice commands and simple taps, turns, and swipes allow drivers to easily turn on tracks and switch between songs. Up until today, Car Thing was only available to users who joined a wait list. But now, anyone with the Spotify Premium subscription can buy it for about $90.
Huh. I feel like they put a lot into the development and then gave up on the name.
Also, that is clear. Also, don't most people just use their phones to stream a lot of the things?
Yes.
So I don't know if that's a...
Are they 5 or 10 years behind on this? Possibly. Well, WESH News at 6 is straight ahead.
Jim Payne joins us now. What's coming up in our next half hour.
In view of Spotify, I'm crushed by this. The heat is on in Central Florida. Our first real brush with 90-degree weather is coming soon. We'll break it all down. A jury deliberates the fate of a man charged in 3 local murders. A man police say is a serial killer. What investigators say ties Robert Hayes to multiple killings. We are live with the latest. And a Central Florida county is working to make school bus stops a lot safer for our children. How this high-tech process works next on WESH News at 6.
First Warning Weather on WESH 2 is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. Dial # law on your cell phone.